Welcome to Chaotic Sports. I'm Chris Sarda. Today we're going to talk about old men, but before we do that, please subscribe to the channel below. We're going to be putting up a lot of videos with these kind of hot takes. And also find the podcast. I'll put a link in the notes. We do a podcast pretty much every week covering the week in sports and all kinds of other BS, including betting information. Today, though, I want to talk about the guy at work. He's an older guy. He basically tells people what to do all day. You've been at the job for a while, and I don't care. It could be sales. It could be some kind of labor work. It could be something in a grocery store. It could be digging ditches, construction. And there's a guy that, you know he's paid his dues, but he doesn't really do what you do, and you've gotten good at it. So one day, there's a call in. Someone calls out and it's a busy day and he's forced. He's a good manager. He's a good employee. He's forced to get down into the nitty gritty or whatever you want to call it that you have to do every day. That you do every day and you're good at it already. And you think, well, at least it's help, but does he still have it? And he gets down there and turns out he does. It turns out you might even be able to learn something from him, that you've maybe had some bad habits, and the fact that you've only been doing it 2 years and he had done it 15 years makes you rethink it. You still might be faster, you still might be better, but that one day he comes in and he kills it. And that's what happened last night for the Minnesota Timberwolves and Derrick Rose against the Utah Jazz. Derrick Rose might still have it occasionally. And I'm saying that this could be a semi-common occurrence. This doesn't have to be, oh, it was his last flash. Oh, he's still done. And I think that's what you're going to hear a lot, that you're going to hear a lot of pride and people being proud of Derrick Rose and saying that, okay, well, he can't keep this up over 82 games. And over 82 games, I agree. There's not a reason that you can't see this multiple 35 and 40-point games from Derrick Rose this year. And the reason you probably won't is that basketball, like hockey and to a lesser extent baseball, basketball's a grind. During the week and during the year, you're playing 3-4 times a week. You're putting it down. There's no time, there's no set schedule for practice like you see in the NFL, and almost all your games are on a Sunday or a Monday. I mean, when they put in Thursday night games in the NFL, everyone complained because it just destroyed the timing, the way practices work, the way you get set up, the way you get warmed up. Everyone went nuts. But in basketball, in hockey, and in baseball, you get to game shape during the season, because you're playing in baseball, you're playing 5 times a day. And I understand baseball isn't as hard hitting as basketball or as hockey. And basketball, you're just on hard floor running for 35 minutes. If you're a star, you're running that much. And basketball's a grind, and for some reason we treat every player the same in the sense that they all have to be part of the grind. Now, I know that some players get DNPs, they did not play. Some players only have their 20 minutes and they had to do something there. And that's how people see Derrick Rose, a 15-minute guy, a 20-minute guy, or a guy that's not going to take over. And I would say that mindset has to change, because you could see multiple 35 and 40-point games against Derrick Rose if you recognize that he's a guy that can play once a week. And he's going to hate hearing that, because he's a competitor and he's got a great attitude and he knows what his role is here. Even during the interview, he told everyone that his role on this team is to be a veteran and show these younger guys what it is in the NBA. But the truth is, he was a young guy when he was great, and then he spent a bunch of years being injured. So what do you do with Derrick Rose? What do you do with a player like Derrick Rose who relies on explosiveness but definitely can't do it every day now? In fact, to be honest, he could really do it every day for one single year. And after that, his body fell apart. So he was already overworking. He was already too hard of a worker. So what do you do with a guy like Derrick Rose? What I say is that you don't play them the 15 minutes a game, and you don't make them travel all the time. I think a player like Derrick Rose and plenty of other players, Chris Paul will be like this pretty soon in the next 2 or 3 years, where he'll still be a legit player, as athletic, more athletic than I am, more athletic than you are. He'll still be a legit player, but there's going to be a time where it's going to be better if some players have their training and work week and come in on a rest day to tear it up and to throw off the other team, because they don't know, they didn't realize that this is the day that they're not going to get Jimmy Butler, but they're going to get full-on Derrick Rose, rested Derrick Rose, that can control a team, that can use his mind. Can you imagine when Chris Paul's a little bit too old? And this idea, by the way, came from me, from Steve Nash, towards the end of his career when he was having all the back problems. He said, I can maybe do it once a week, but every day is tough. And the truth is he's right. Why don't we just believe him? So there are guys, and I think you see it more on either spectrum, on the point guard side. So I'm thinking Chris Paul, but also on the center side. Those guys are big, and it's tough to work like that and work that hard. So if you can keep them in shape and you give them Monday through Friday exercise and fitness activities, and you time the rest of your stars that are still young enough to do the grind and healthy enough to do the grind, then I think you can have these incredible super subs all over the NBA, and you can make careers last far longer. And you say, well, you're going to pay a guy to come in once every 5 to 8 days. Yes, you pay closers to play one inning, and they get a shit ton of money. So can Derrick Rose have multiple, maybe not 50, but 35, 40-point games where he could take over, where he can be the crossover wing that he basically invented before Russell Westbrook was around? Yes, he can. All we got to do is stop thinking in our old ways and let a guy, even though he's not going to like it, let a guy that needs to be training for fitness and not be torn up by the grind of the NBA year, to work out, to exercise, to practice, and to come in and kill it about once a week. Anyway, this is Chris Sarda. Please subscribe down low, right here, or maybe it's the left hand. I never get it, right? I don't fucking know. And comment down below, what do you think about the 1 week theory, the once a week theory, the anti-grind theory? This has been Chaos Daily. Thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great day.